guys, it's Jo here with another Time for Tea Designs video. I hope you're all really well and have had a wonderful Christmas. Today's video was actually recorded before Christmas during a Facebook Live, but I thought that this was the perfect one for today because we have had quite a bit of snow. So this video features our little snow bunnies from the Cozy Winter set. First of all, I did cut out the slimline Nordic Star die, and I've popped that through my die cutting machine, and we'll come back to that later. But now I've taken my A2 sized piece of card. This is actually an A2 sized card blank, and I've masked off the very top because I don't want to get any of my ink onto the back of my card base. And now I'm going to add a halo of inks. So I started with my lightest colour of ink in the centre, which is the speckled egg. And then I've gone around that little circle with some peacock feathers. And then again, right to the outside, I'm blending in some faded jeans. And I will show you the colours that I've used at the end of this portion of the video. I am going to go over each of my areas a couple of times just to make sure that they're all blended really well. And because I wanted to get this real feel of things getting darker and depth to my background, I did add some chipped sapphire right to the very edges of that piece. So you can see here, this is the Nordic Star die, and it didn't cut properly the first time. And this is because my plates for my Gemini are really very bowed. So I did have to put that through the die cutting machine a couple of times for it to get a clean cut. And all I did was just move it around a little bit into different positions on my plates so that it did get a really good cut. There are a lot of little bits within this this die, so I spent a bit of time just flicking out all of those little bits so that you can see the beautiful design of the die. To complete my background, I wanted to add some snowy splatters. So this is some watered down gesso, and I've just applied loads of water to my paintbrush, and then I'm just hitting that on the side of my palette to create this beautiful snowy sky. For some extra shimmer, I'm using some of my Fine-Tech metallic paints here, and this is the white metallic. I'm afraid I don't know the actual shade, but it just gives a really pretty shimmery snowy look. So once that's done, I can remove that bit of masking tape from Heffy Doodle, and I've used a little bit of my masking tape, washi tape, in the centre just to hold that closed. For our focal panel, I did have a little wallet here of images that I've already coloured from the Cozy Winter set as part of our reveal week. So this is part of the snow globe stamp, and it has this lovely wintry background to it that I'd already coloured. And I had already coloured some of my little snow bunnies here from that same set. And I really liked how the little brown bunnies looked on that background, but I wanted to colour them up with different coloured scarves. And also to show you how I coloured those images as part of the video. So I'm stamping my little rabbits onto some super smooth cardstock. This is Time for Tea cardstock, and I'm going to use my Memento Tuxedo black ink to stamp those images because I am going to be using alcohol markers. Now the alcohol markers that I'm going to use today are actually quite new to me, and they're new to the shop as well, and they're these Tri-Blend Spectrum Noir brush markers. And the great thing about these is that you have 3 colours in one marker. So if you're new to using alcohol markers, this is a really affordable way of getting all the colours that you need to create a great blend within one pen really. So I haven't really used these before, so this is my first attempt at doing it. The image that you see above is one that I coloured with my Copic markers. So what I'm trying to do is match up the Tri-Blend markers that I've got to create the best match for the image that I'd already coloured. So this particular marker is the Earth brown set, I believe, or the earth brown marker. And I also used the golden brown blend as well to create the little tummies. And I think the warm grey is what I used to just add a little bit of texture to the tummies as well. Like I say, this was so simple to do because I didn't have to change pens. All I did was just use each of the shades. So you start with the lightest, move to the excuse me, move to the medium shade, and then the darkest, and it's all in that one pen. So it was so easy to do, and I love that it's got this brush marker tip, which is very similar to the Copic markers. The only difference really, apart from the fact that they don't have quite the same range of colours that Copic does, is they are much longer. So for storage purposes, that might provide a little bit of a challenge, but I'm sure it's something that I can figure out. Just going back in and adding a little bit more depth here to each of those little bunnies. These were very juicy markers. So, but they were new. So that did mean that they saturated my paper very quickly, which was fine. It just meant that where I did bleed a little bit, I did use my Copic blender brush to just bleed out that bit where I went over the lines. I decided to colour the scarves in a beautiful pink colour and this beautiful teal colour, which really goes with my background. And I will add some finishing touches with my gel pen a little bit later in the video. So I'm just lining up the coordinating die that goes with these super sweet bunnies, and I'm going to pop that through my die cutting machine. And you can see how it actually cuts out the little gap between their ears, which I think is a really sweet touch. And that means that your background will show between them both. And you can see how that's just going to sit against that background and just look really, really sweet. So I'm now going to line up my slimline die, and this just shows how you can use a slimline die but on a normal size card. And I like the way that the background shows through those designs, but also you have the little bit of space at either side of the die as well, and that just makes for a really nice border and really makes that design pop. I'm using a pencil here just to mark where I need to add my adhesive, because there's no point adding adhesive to the whole back of the panel as you won't be sticking all of it to your background. I'm going to use some liquid glue to attach this to my background because I want it to lay flat. So I have one of my fine tip applicator bottles here with some of my Cosmic Shimmer glue in there. And I'm just going to work my way in between all of those little gaps. And I'm going to take special care on all of the edges because they're the bits that I really don't want to lift. And I line that up as centrally as I can. So I had a little fiddle about with that to make sure that it was as central as I could manage. And thankfully, because we're using liquid glue, we do have that little bit of wiggle room to move things around. Once that's adhered, I can flip my cardstock over, and I'm using these amazing scissors from We Are Memory Keepers to just trim off the back of that die. So now we've got our focal image sorted, it's time to think about sentiment. So I did think that maybe the cozy winter sentiment would look nice, but I also like the way that this sentiment strip, You Make Me Snow Happy, worked. And I just think it worked with the whole theme of it being snowy background and them being a couple and it just being really sweet. So I decided to go with that from one of our sentiment strip packs. I'm adding some of my foam tape now to the back of the focal panel, and I'm just going to make sure that I've got all of the back of this covered because I don't want this to dip or bow in any way. And then I'm going to figure out where my sentiment will sit so that I can make sure I line up this panel in exactly the right place so that I'm giving enough room at the bottom of the card for that sentiment to sit perfectly. I can now add my foam tape to the back of the sentiment. Again, I'm covering all of the back of that with our new shaker tape and our thin foam roll, and then I'm just going to position that in the center underneath our focal panel. Again, I've used that small shaker tape that we've got that's new in the store, and I'm adding that, or cutting that into little pieces and adding that all over the back of my little bunnies here. And then again, I'm just going to position those right in the middle of that that circle so that you can still see the background behind them. For the finishing touches, I'm going to add some highlights with my Jelly Roll pen. So this is my white Jelly Roll pen, and this is an opaque pen, and it will just really add a really nice little highlight that I think does just give them a little bit more shape and dimension and gives them more of an illustrative feel. I also wanted to add some stripes to the little rabbit's scarf, as I just thought that would make it stand out a little bit more and just look a little bit more festive. I then decided to add a little bit of gloss. So this is a glaze pen, a Jelly Roll glaze pen, and it's clear glaze. And this is perfect for just adding a little bit of glaze to things like noses, or maybe to, if you were to perhaps be trying to add a little bit of gloss to maybe glasses or anything that's got kind of a glass look to it. And then here, this is actually a white glaze Jelly Roll pen, and that just adds a bit of dimension and white glaze to the little bunnies' tails. I couldn't think what they were called, little cotton tails. So that is the card finished, and I was really pleased with how it turned out. It's such a pretty card, and it really does look snowy. So, and like I say, it's perfect for today because here in Sheffield we have had quite a lot of snow today. I really hope that you enjoyed today's card. If you did, it would be great if you could like and subscribe to our channel. We haven't done as many videos over the Christmas period, but we do normally do a live stream on Facebook every Thursday evening at 8 o'clock, and they will be starting again from the 4th of January. So I hope that you can join us then. In the meantime, we will be posting some more videos here on YouTube, and I hope that you can join us for those. Thank you so much for watching today. There will be some links at the end of the video for more videos you might find interesting, and I'll see you again for some more videos here real soon. Thanks guys, bye bye now.